Hello to everyone in year two. I'm Mr. Pickering, if you didn't already know, and over the next few weeks, I'm going to be doing all of our English lessons. So if you're in my class, if you're in Mrs. Williamson's class, if you're in Mrs. Newis's class, most of our English lessons will be done by me. And if you haven't already got it with you, you're going to need a pencil, maybe a ruler if you've got one, and most importantly, you're going to need your yellow English book that you took home a few weeks ago. So if you haven't got it right now, press pause or press the space bar to pause it and whiz around your house and see if you can go and find your yellow English book. And if you have got it, then you can carry on letting the video play. So every day, this is quite exciting, this bit, because every single day over the next few weeks, we're going to be starting to learn to join up our handwriting. Some of you have already got beautiful handwriting, but most of us haven't started joining yet. So the first thing we're going to do is start practicing a few letters and a few words so that by the end of year two, we can all have beautiful joined up handwriting, okay? So let's get your pencil, make sure it's nice and sharp. Or if you're using a pen, don't worry about it if you're using a pen, if you haven't got a pencil at home. And we're going to have a look at a little video. Let me try and find it for you. Okay. So we're going to have a look today at just the letter I. All right. And it might look a little bit different to the letter I that you've done before, because it starts on the line. So it doesn't start in the middle here. It starts down on the line, okay? Just going to show you how I would do it. I've got my little electric pencil here. So start on the line, and we're going about halfway up. Now when you come down, this bit has got to be completely straight. And just touch the line, it should have its bottom down on the line there. Pencil off, and then just put your dot on. This line here is not the line in your book. That's like an invisible line. So imagine that this is the bottom line in your book, and this is the line above, and this is just an imaginary halfway line, okay? So try another one. Going straight up, straight back down, and just a little flick. That flick is so that when we join up, we can join it to the next letter. That's what that's for, okay? And then just put your dot on. Let's try another one. Straight up, straight back down, and a little flick, and then put your dot on. I'm going to show you what not to do. This is something that we don't want, all right? We don't want something that looks like this. We don't want that. That looks like a mountain. We don't want any mountains with a little man climbing at the top there. There he is, near the top of the mountain. We don't want that, okay? So we're going as straight as we can up. Definitely straight back down. Little flick, and put your dot on. So what I'd like you to do in your book, pause the video, and do 2 lines of letter I. All the way to the end of the line, and then a second line. And so pause the video, and once you've done that, you can carry on playing the video. Okay, we're going to put that into a word now. Nice, easy one, really, really easy. We're just going to write the word ill, okay? And then we're going to start with this letter I, and you can see now that our I is nice and small, but our L's go all the way and they bang their head on the top. Can you see that? So they're sat down on the line and they're banging their head on the line above. So we'll do that I that we've been practicing. Straight back down, and we're going to keep our pencil on until we go all the way up. And you'll see that this L is completely straight. I'm going to go all the way up, straight back down, and then just that little flick again. And once we've done all of that, we just go back and we put our dot on our eye, okay? So same again, I want you to pause the video, press spacebar or press the pause button, and do 2 lines of ill in your book. So you should have and now underneath a line of ill, and then another line of ill, just to practice. And once you've finished, I want you to find your best one, your neatest one, put a little tick above it, a bit like that. And if you've done a rubbish one, that's okay, because we're just practicing. If you've done a rubbish one and it looks a little bit like this or something like that, put a little cross. So put a tick next to your best one and put a cross next to one that you think, oh, that's not very good. So pause the video, do 2 lines of ill, and once you've done that, you can press play again. Okay. So we've done our handwriting. Hopefully you're used to handwriting, because I don't know about you, but I've not even picked up a pencil since before Christmas. So my handwriting definitely won't be very good. So just a little bit of practice there. We're going to go into our English lesson now. And just like when we're in school, the first thing we're going to do is write our date and title on our, we've obviously used a few lines in our book, but underneath that, I want you to write your date and title. So I'm going to show you our date and title for today. I've put the wrong date on that there. It's Wednesday the 6th now, isn't it? Because we were meant to be doing this yesterday. But of course, our school is closed. So on the next line underneath, Wednesday the 6th of January. And then on the line underneath, can I use different word classes? And you've got a little clue there underneath about what we're going to do. So same again, I want you to pause the video, write your date and title. That should only take you about 2 minutes. That's not something that should take about half an hour. We're only taking about 2 minutes to write Wednesday the 6th of January. And can I use different word classes? So pause the video now. And once you've finished, you can carry on playing the video. Okay, so different word classes. There's a little clue there. We're going to be talking today about adjectives, about nouns, about verbs, and about adverbs. Can you remember what any of those words mean? Adjective. I'm sure Mr. Pickering said something about adjectives before. And if we were in our classroom, we'd have something on the wall which reminded us about what a noun was. We'll talk about that in a sec. In your book now, underneath your date and title, we're going to need something that looks like my fancy table here. Now, yours isn't going to look as fancy as mine because my computer's made it really, really neat for me. But this is what you're going to have in your book. We're going to need 4 lines. Where are we? So we're going to need probably 4 or 5 lines in your book. So hopefully it'll look a little bit like this. I've used 4 there. And you're going to need to draw 3 lines so that you've got 4 spaces like that. A little bit like that. Don't worry if it's not really, really neat. Normally we'd have this stuck in our book, but you've got to do the hard work, I'm afraid. And then on the line underneath your date and title, we're going to have adjectives. So you can write this, nouns, verbs, and adverbs. So same again, I want you to pause the video, and when your book looks a little bit like my screen, then you can carry on playing the video. Okay. So I want you to have a look at these pictures. It's been really, really snowy recently. So I thought, why don't we do a little bit of work about all of that snow that we've had? I don't know about you, but I had a little bit of a snowball fight. I made a snowman. Luna, my puppy, she was playing in the snow with all the other dogs. And I even saw some children, a bit like you, sledging down the hills in the park near my house. So I thought, oh, we'll definitely write some, do some work about snow. So I want you to think of all the pictures. We can see some icicles and a little snowy scene there. We've got some snowflakes and we've got a little snowman there that somebody's made. And I want you to think of any adjectives that you can think of to describe those things. So remember, adjectives are describing words, yeah? So it's not what the thing is, it's not what it's doing, it's something that describes it. So for example, I might say soft because the snow is soft, or I might say white because the ice and the snow are white, or cold or freezing. Okay, so pause the video. I want you to write 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 if you want to, 5 describing words about any of these pictures. Okay, so pause the video. As soon as you've finished, you can press play. Okay, and now we're going to move on to the next one. So you should have 4 or 5 describing words now. And now I want you to think of nouns. Now that should be really easy because remember, nouns are objects like things, or people, or places, or maybe animals. So all we're doing now is what can we see? So I can see snowflake. So I might put snowflake in there. Snowflake. See a split digraph there, can't we? In snowflake. Just make it the right writing. So that's one thing that I can see. Snowman, snowball, icicles. I think down here we might even have a picture of a puddle there. Just put me up there. So same again, pause the video. Should take you about 1 minute to write 4 or 5 nouns that you can see. Anything that you can see in these pictures. Okay, off you go. Pause the video, off you go. Okay, and now, a bit more tricky now because we're going to think about verbs. Now remember that verbs are doing words, so it's what something does. So if you've got a snowflake, what could it do? A snowflake could be falling or floating. If someone's thrown it, it might be zooming or flying. Maybe look at what the icicles are doing. They're hanging off the branch, aren't they? Or clinging onto the branch. What's a snowman doing? He's just standing or waiting. So, same again, pause the video, and we want 4 or 5 things that your nouns can do, doing words. They're probably going to end with ing. Off you go. Okay, we should have 4 or 5 verbs now. I'm just going to put a couple of mine in. So, falling, I'm going to have falling, and floating. Just going to put them in just so we're ready for later. And last one, now this is a little bit more tricky, but we've talked about this loads in year 2. We want some adverbs. So remember, adverbs is how something is done, and almost all of them end in ly. There are ly words. So we actually had loads of them for our spellings before the Christmas holidays, didn't we? So how would the snowflake be falling? It would be falling gently, slowly. If it's a snowball and someone's thrown it, it might be moving quickly or rapidly or swiftly. If the snowman stood still, he might be stood patiently. Quite tricky, that one, isn't it? How are the icicles clinging on? Strongly. So pause the video. And this time we want lots of ly words. We want lots of adverbs. So I'm just going to put a couple in just to give you a couple of ideas. So I'm going to put in quickly. Someone might throw the snowball quickly, or someone might be hurtling down the hill quickly. And I'm going to put softly, 2 different ones in there. Okay, pause the video. And this time, I want some adverbs. Okay, so hopefully, if you follow my instructions, we should have something now that looks a little bit like this. So here's one I made a little bit earlier on. And I've got lots of describing words: glittery, white, soft, fluffy, icy. And here are my nouns. I had snowflake, snow, snowman, ice and puddles. All of my verbs, I had floating and falling and cracking and crunching and zooming. And then my adverbs, I had gently, quickly, softly, rapidly, and silently. If you didn't have that many, pause the video and steal a couple of mine now and fill yours in with a few of mine, because we're going to need these for the next bit, okay? Because that's when we actually do our writing now, all right? So if you've not already got them, pause the video, copy a few of mine now, and you can steal them. I'll let you, all right? Okay, just going to grab that because I'm going to need it in a minute. So we're going to use our words. We've now got what I call a word bank. We've got loads of different words that we've got that we're going to use, okay? And we're going to use these and we're going to kind of mix them together a little bit so that, don't want that. Hold on. Where are we? There we go. Yeah, it's massive. I don't want it that big. Put that over there. So I'm going to use my word bank and we're going to make some sentences now. And we're going to use, we might need to add a couple of extra words to make it make sense, but we're going to have an adjective, then a noun, then a verb, and then an adverb, okay? But if I just read the ones that I've got out, let me just read them left to right, and we'll see if they might make sense. I've not done it on purpose. They might make sense, and they might not make sense, so let's just see. So my first one says, glittery snowflake floating gently. That kind of works quite well, actually, doesn't it? White snow falling quickly. That sounds all right. The white, that makes sense, doesn't it? White snow falling quickly, okay. Let's look at the next one. Soft snowman cracking softly. That doesn't make sense. So I can't use that one. I can't use that as a sentence. Fluffy ice crunching rapidly. Fluffy ice? No, that doesn't work. So I'll have to change that one. Icy puddles zooming silently. I didn't do that on purpose. That doesn't work. So I'm going to have to change that. So I want you to choose some of my words and just write, let me think. We're going to have, after this, like the video is going to end, and I want you to spend about 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes if you're enjoying yourself, underneath that table that you did in your book. And you should now have something that looks a little bit like mine, where you've got all of your words that you used before, and then underneath, you're going to have some sentences. So these are a couple of sentences that I got ready, but I'm going to add a couple on now. Just make that smaller so we can see it. This is really annoying because we're not in school. This sticks on my screen, which is a bit annoying. So, a glittery snowflake floating gently to the ground. That's a nice sentence, isn't it? Transparent icicles clinging onto branches for dear life. Quite like that one. Transparent was one of our science words last half term, doesn't it? Do you remember that it means see-through? Right, let me think. I'm going to write one about the puddles. Icy puddles. You ever stepped on a puddle when it's frozen? It goes. So I'm going to have cracking, I think. Icy puddles cracking gently, quickly, softly, rapidly, silently. I'm going to have to add an adverb because I think I need loudly here. So capital letter, obviously, at the beginning of my sentence. Icy, finger space, puddles, finger space, cracking, finger space, loudly. I'm just going to add when Remember, when has a hen. I see puddles cracking loudly when I stand on them. Yeah, I see puddles cracking loudly when I stand on them. That sounds pretty good. And I'm just going to do one more. Let's have, what have I done? So I've done the snowflake, I've done icicles, I've done puddles. Should we have a snowman? Glittery snowman. No, if you use glittery. White snowman. It's a bit boring. I could have a soft white snowman. Soft white snowman. So I'm going to use two adjectives in that one. A soft white snowman. Floating, falling, cracking, crunching, zooming. I need standing, really, don't I? Because that snowman don't do very much. A soft white snowman standing very still. 7 words. A soft white snowman standing very still. Yeah, I like that. Capital letter at the beginning. A soft white. There's a split digraph in white there, look. The E turning the I into an I. A soft white snowman. A soft white snowman standing very still. Standing very, no, that's not right. Yeah, still. Full stop. A glittery snowflake floating gently to the ground. Transparent icicles clinging onto branches for dear life. I like that one. Icy puddles cracking loudly when I stand on them. A soft white snowman standing very still. Yeah, that's pretty good. So I've done 4. So the video is going to end now. And after the video ends, I want you to spend about 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, and every single person in year 2 should be able to write at least 5 sentences using the words that you've done. But really, we should be aiming for 8 sentences, okay? So 8 lines in your book, okay? You need to make sure that every single sentence starts with a capital letter. Every single sentence has a full stop at the end, okay? So have fun writing. We want neat writing, especially those I's that we practice. Whenever you do an I now, remember that I that we did. Every sentence has a capital letter. Every sentence has a full stop, and make sure every sentence makes sense. Okay? And I'll see you tomorrow, and we're going to use these sentences for what we're going to do tomorrow. So it's really important that we've got lots and lots of sentences in our book. Okay? Have fun, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.